Hi, everyone. It's Sarah here from smallbusinesssarah.com. And today I have a little bit different of a video for you. I am interviewing my business coach, Crystal Gregory. She is from CEG Coaching. So, Crystal, welcome. Thank you for agreeing to be interviewed.
Oh, sure. You're welcome. No problem.
Awesome. So I met Crystal because I was looking for a business coach. I had listened to Nathan Barry in an interview. He talked about using a business coach. And I thought to myself, well, if Nathan Barry, who, for those of you who don't know, he's the founder of ConvertKit, if Nathan Barry needs a business coach, I thought maybe that would be a smart thing for me to do as well. My bookkeeping business was growing and I had some growing pains that I needed help sorting through. So I went on the search for a business coach, and a lot of them were more like cheerleaders, less about strategy and systems. So when I ran across Crystal, I thought she would be a much better fit for me because she focuses more on, like I said, strategy and systems. And she's less about, rah, rah, you can do it, work harder, work longer, work more, which is not what I needed. So I'm glad I found Crystal. It's been a good experience so far. So Crystal, enough about me. Tell us about how you got started as a business coach.
Sure. So last summer, I was looking at what I needed to do to get back into work. And I actually applied to a program at the local university to do coaching and mentoring. And I took the classes. And then at that point in time, I needed to do some coaching hours. And I started a very small business, and a friend helped me with my first website, CEG Coaching. And I had a website and I was looking for people to help. And so I got into Facebook and I was helping people in Facebook groups and answering their questions about business. And then a couple of them reached out and they're like, "Hey, can you coach us?" And I was like, okay, I can try it. And I did. And I found that actually I was able to get them some really incredible results with that coaching and mentoring. And then I ended up helping in the last year 15 businesses grow and scale. And it's been a really good and fun journey, actually. So, because I think in business, I ended up there using systems because I'm an inner geek at heart. And I studied applied linguistics when I was in university, and patterns and languages and alphabets and grammar and that kind of thing. And when you apply that sort of outlook to business, that's where the magic happens.
So you, like yourself, you love organization. Like that's a strength of yours, you think?
Yeah, it is actually. In a strange way, because I trained as a linguist and I was trained to spot patterns in data and in different, to create alphabets and grammars for languages that aren't written down. And that helped me when I was a teacher because then I was able to kind of understand curriculum and understand design. And then as a business coach, it really helps me to spot patterns in an organization and what's going really well and what can be even better. And I found that I really help coach or businesses that are growing, kind of like yourself, that have a couple freelancers or a couple employees, and you're looking to grow to the next level, but you're finding that you're feeling really stuck because you're just using a lot of time and not really using that time really well. And so that's where we look first.
Yeah, that's definitely how I was feeling. I was feeling really stuck because my business was growing, which is what you want. You want your business to grow. But I knew I was spending too much time doing things that I shouldn't be doing. But I was having a hard time with me being so immersed in the business. I needed that outside perspective to really kind of shed light on what I really needed to change. I don't think I could have made some of the changes that I've done without a person by my side kind of directing me and helping me, like walking me through those changes, the step by step process. Even though I'm an organized person, I would say I lean towards systems myself. I still just couldn't quite make myself do it in my own business. Um, it was a block that I had for sure. Crystal, as I mentioned before, like one thing I liked about you is I knew that you weren't going to like push me to do things that were going to just add to my busyness that I already had. Tell me a little bit more about how you do focus on creating time and income, increasing both, not just, adding more onto the plate of the entrepreneurs that you work with.
That's a great question. And I find that actually the time of the entrepreneur is the most precious thing. And they're really, really stretched. You're wearing many hats. Lots of us start businesses thinking that we're going to go into it just for ourselves. And then we have success like you have, helping one very small, specific group of businesses or group of people. And then when that success happens, that's when the overwhelm kicks in. And the overwhelm is an overused word, I think, but in this instance, it is true. And you just get bogged down in all the details of managing the team, managing the projects, doing your marketing, customer service, delivery, retention, all of those aspects that go into running something really successful. And so it's really key to take a look at keeping a time diary and figuring out what you're doing and where those activities line up in the interest of the business, not just in yourself, but also in the entrepreneur's life as well. And then we look at what are some of those activities that we can kind of offload so that we can increase the income and increase the impact of the actions that you're taking.
Yeah, the time diary was super helpful. It was quite revealing in not a good
Mm.
way about where I was spending my
Funny
time.
because I just did one for myself this weekend.
Did you?
Yeah, it's yeah, you do waste a lot of time.
Yeah. I bet even like for a personal life, tracking your like the entire life, if you time tracked everything, that would be very revealing as well. My That reminds me, my kids actually they use the Switch to play like Fortnite, Animal Crossing, things like that. And they are friends with some of their cousins on the Switch. Well, on the Switch, you can find out how many hours you've spent playing like
Oh no.
Fortnite or Animal Crossing over the whole history. Well, they have been just shocked and blown away by the days and weeks and months of their, friends and cousins' lives that have been spent playing Fortnite, for example.
Mm.
So that's like a kid time diary of electronics usage in a way. It was quite revealing. With the time diary, then after that, kind of our process, then we kind of started working through systems. Can you tell me or tell, the people watching this why systems are so important and what they help you gain in your business?
Sure. Systems are really cool. Again, being the geek at heart, I love
Sure.
spotting patterns and seeing where they are. And in a business, you have to take a look at some kind of key systems, essentially, kind of three areas: the people that you're helping, i.e., your customers or your clients, the service or product that you have, and then how you're delivering that service or product. And so, with those systems, it's really, really crucial to have a series of actions that you take that bring success and successful outcomes in them. And if you think about it, you want to make it so simple that someone who's 12 or 13 looking at your business could operate in those different roles. But you also want to make sure that things are going really, really well and really smoothly to get the most income and impact for yourself. Because as you add a team, you want to make sure that you're going from a one person show, one stop shop kind of thing to kind of a bigger organization. And you want to make sure that you can kind of interchange people. You can have a really solid foundation for the business so that as it grows, it doesn't go through those growing pains, or as they happen, it's okay and it is stronger.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. You've helped me kind of start writing down the systems I already had in place and then help me to improve some of those systems as well. And you're right, like without it written down, if as you go to hire another person, you're just left scrambling. Well, what do you have them do? Or they don't know how you do things. And they don't know the way your organization operates or your, I guess, standard operating procedure would be the term that a lot of people would use for that. It was mind-boggling to me, I guess, once we started talking about it, all the different things that I as an entrepreneur do in my business. And so all of the different systems that are, without me really knowing that they were systems, happening kind of like behind the scenes that then need to be formalized, not just random. They need to be
Yeah.
thought about and examined.
Yeah, and actually that's the first step of both my one-on-one coaching program and the new online agency boot camp that's coming very soon, is we get everyone to write down kind of where they're at in their company and in their business, even if it's just one person or if it's a small team, to take a look and to do kind of a company audit. And that was part of the writing down process that I had for you, where you're looking at your time, you're looking at your marketing efforts and how you get people to go from, stranger to buyer to loyal fan. Um, Looking at your service or your product and that delivery and the price point and your packages and your offerings and how you deliver those and how you quality assurance check them and who the key players are.
There's so many more like roles and processes and hats that you're wearing as an entrepreneur than you realize. Customer service hat, for example, like you don't really think of yourself in the customer service business if you're selling, a service or a product, but you are. Like that's one of the hats that you're wearing. So it's very informative going through all of that. I know that you are excited to talk about 3 ways that people can get more results with less stress. Do you want to tell us about that?
Sure. Yeah, there are 3 ways. Oftentimes, entrepreneurs and business owners come to me because they feel stressed. Like I remember when we started working together, it was just the end of the summer. And you're like, I didn't want to work on my business this summer. I wanted to spend time with my kids.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
Stress was definitely a word I would have used after this summer.
yeah, and that actually hits a lot of business owners because we go into this thinking, well, I can do, I can be a good accountant, I can be a good bookkeeper, I can be a good chocolatier in my business. But then we're wearing all these other hats, and then it just kind of piles up, and then we get a team, and then we're a manager as well. And so I would say the 3 ways to get less stress. The first way is to step back and do the time diary and kind of write down everything that you're doing, whether it's for a day or for a week, ideally, and just take a look and see what it is that you're doing and where your time is actually going, because that will help you to see kind of where your energy is going. And then from there, you can make what I call a time blocking plan, where you actually take an Excel spreadsheet, or lots of people have different ways of doing this, but kind of thinking through the activities that you do in your personal life, in your family life, and in your business life, and try to kind of put them into a flow or into a pattern. I'm not talking like super strict with scheduling, but just so you kind of have an idea of where your time's going and where your focus is at that time, so that like if it's family time, you're not feeling the pressure to do work at the same time. Or if it's like, Monday morning, lots of business owners do marketing planning on Monday because it's marketing Monday or finance Friday or something like that. And just so you have kind of that rhythm, that helps you to kind of relax into it and get everything done, but know that you have the time to do it as well. And then the other 2 things are, the second one, which we didn't talk about in our coaching yet, was kind of working on your own personal values and your own personal leadership style. And I have a leadership executive assessment that I use with clients, that really reveals kind of your holistic life approach in a 360 way of looking at your company, looking at your professional life, looking at kind of your holistic health, and making sure that everything is lined up. Because oftentimes as entrepreneurs, we sacrifice our sleep or our exercise or our nutrition or something like that. And that then kind of feeds into our business success and into everything else in life. And so sometimes in those areas of wellness and values, if you can shore up one, then you can shore up your business for greater success. And then the third one is really easy, but I think we forget it. And it's just to have fun in business. And I was trying to, that when we were talking through your branding and kind of your new growth that's coming very soon. I'm not sure if you've announced it yet, but I'm excited. Just talking about like the idea of fun and having fun, because I think so often we associate, because our businesses are livelihoods as well, and we put so much of us into it as entrepreneurs. sometimes we forget that at the end of the day, we should have fun in our jobs and in the businesses and organizations that we're building.
Yeah, there's really no point in being an entrepreneur if you're not satisfied with the work that you're doing or you're not enjoying the work that you're doing. Otherwise, you might as well just go out and get a 9 to 5 job. And also, there's no point in being an entrepreneur if you're not then supporting the other aspects of your life that are important to you, like you mentioned. It's not worth it to be an entrepreneur if it's not aiding me in my family goals or time with my family, or if it's a hindrance like you mentioned to my health or my nutrition. That I mean, what's the point? I could do that with any job. I could
Yeah.
hinder my personal time and my health and well-being with any job
Mhm.
out there. Taking the holistic approach is certainly important. That's why sometimes, I mean, I like to read books about business and, entrepreneurial books, things like that. But sometimes I do get frustrated when the advice seems to be to just push yourself so hard to the detriment of everything else around you. And that's really not possible if you are trying to be there for your family too. And
Mhm.
so it's kind of like the macho sort of business plan is to just do it all, be it all, work 80 hours and succeed. And that doesn't
Yeah.
really work.
No, it doesn't. And in fact, actually, that's why we do the time diary as the first step in my coaching program, because I find oftentimes people are working way too hard. And then when you work too hard, you don't get the results that you really want. And I actually have counseled a couple clients this year or suggested that they get 9 to 5s or part time jobs to take the pressure off so that they can then enjoy their business. Because if you have a part time job or like a solid contract, then it takes the pressure off your business as it's growing, and you can enjoy it. Because really, at the end of the day, yes, I agree that there is a lot of hustle and a lot of hard work when you're starting a business, but I think as entrepreneurs, especially as female entrepreneurs, we have such maybe a different take on entrepreneurship, maybe, where yes, there is a lot of work and a lot of hustle and a lot of grind or whatever out there, but there does need to be balance in it too.
Yeah, definitely. I'm all about that for sure. And I think that's why we work well together because you get that. So we've kind of been skirting around this the whole
Mhm.
time. I would love to hear more about your online agency boot camp that you have coming up here very soon.
Sure, I'm really excited. It's a I've taken what has worked really well with the last several months with 15 businesses, and I've made kind of my own little system of an online. I'm calling it an agency boot camp because really that's what we're talking about, is building a business that is bigger than a solopreneur or a one-stop shop or a business owner with a couple freelancers, into something bigger. But we're not talking a mega business. We're talking an agency, which is a smaller boutique kind of thing. And in this boot camp, it's going to be a rolling membership where we will take a look at 3 different things. We'll have kind of community accountability calls twice a month on Zoom. And then we'll also have a very small closed social media network. I'm not sure which platform it'll be on yet, where we can encourage each other and spur each other on. And then I also am going to throw in a quarterly strategic planning session where we look at all the aspects of your business and create a strategic roadmap. And you get access to my really cool agency templates that I've used with my individual clients to help grow everything from courses to memberships to landing pages, website branding, organic marketing, SOPs for like job descriptions and team members and onboarding and all those um, non-shiny kind of things that I find fun, but lots of business owners find overwhelming. I've created a Google Drive folder with all of that stuff, and so then I'm that will be available to you to help you grow your business.
It sounds like a really helpful program that you've put together. What would you say is the ideal client to participate in your boot camp?
Sure. So for the boot camp, I would say the ideal person is someone who is making I would say a couple thousand a month in their business at least. They feel like they have almost too many clients, or they're at the point where they could be reaching overwhelm or turning people away, and they don't want to reach that point. They might have a small team or they might not. They might have the desire very soon to be growing a small team, and they have the capacity to afford a couple $100s a month to be able to, and the time, more realistically, to put in 3 to 6 months worth of work to lay the foundations to grow their business.
I know you work a lot with service-based businesses like mine. Would like a just a blogger be a good fit? Would a product-based seller be a good fit? Or is it more for service-based business owners?
It can be for products as well and service-based business owners, I would say. If you are service-based, they need to be very specific and boutique. And they need to have a product or a service that can be productized, kind of like yours. I generally do turn away people who are generic coaches or kind of generic consultants, people who don't have a very clear niche or sub niche, because the approach that I take is actually a productized approach, but to the service market. And I have also helped service based businesses, so it could work for them as well.
Okay, excellent. So the online agency bootcamp sounds like a really great option for so many different people. What about the people that want a little bit more hand holding help, a little bit more individualized, and or people who want a lot of attention? Um, do you offer services for them as well?
I do actually, and I have a 3 month coaching program for them where we do kind of the same framework as the online agency bootcamp, but in a much deeper way. And that's the process that, Sarah, that you're in the midst of going through, where we start with a company audit and then we go through the strategic roadmap creation. We do SOPs, standard operating procedures, in 5 key areas. And we create a Google Drive folder, take my customized templates and get down and dirty in your business. And then we implement, and then we tweak, and then from there we create a growth plan. So, and that's really exciting.
Excellent. And would people find that on your cegcoaching.com website?
Yeah, they can find that there and on the online agency bootcamp.
I have to say for, people watching this interview, I really have received a lot of benefit from working with Crystal. It's been a very positive experience. Um, I'm in a much better position right now than I was, a few months ago when we started. Everything takes time, of course, to implement. I haven't reached the pinnacle yet, but we're working on it together, and I think I'm making real progress. Do you think I'm making progress, Chris?
Yeah, oh my goodness me, you've done awesome, and I can't wait for your 2022 and where you're going to be at in 2023.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I
Yeah.
wasn't sure what to expect, of course, with the coaching process. As a financial person, I'm I'm quite frugal. Like in my business and in my personal life, I'm quite frugal. I mean, if I can get clothes at the thrift store, I'm all about that rather than, going mall shopping or whatever. So I was a little hesitant at first, I must say, and you might have, caught
Yeah,
on to that a little bit
I
in the
did.
beginning. But it's been a good investment. I mean, I think it was obviously in business, sometimes you need to invest money in order to make money and grow. It was definitely a positive investment in my business, and I'm definitely glad that I did that.
Oh, thank you. That's good feedback.
Thank you so much for agreeing to talk with me today, and I'm so glad we were able to have this conversation. And I hope that some of the watchers will reach out to you and especially join that online agency boot camp. I think it would be a great option for so many people.
Sure. Thank you. And if you guys are watching this and you're thinking, I want that, but I'm not at that point just yet, I do have a Facebook group that it might be in the comments below where you can join in the conversation about systems and leaving a legacy and an impact.
Oh,
So,
that's a nice option. That's great. Good.
cool.
Wonderful. All right. Thanks a lot, Crystal.
Yeah. Thank you, Sarah. Bye.